Hi, it's good to be with you again. The Lord be with you and also with you. Let's sing our song to help us get ready. It's called Open Our Eyes, Lord. Open our eyes, Lord. We want to see Jesus, to reach out and touch Him and say that we love Him. Open our ears, Lord, and help us to listen. Open our eyes, Lord. We want to see Jesus. So do you remember when I talked to you last week? I told you we were going to learn another story of creation. You remember the story that we told in Worship Center, where God created the light and the dark and everything that was making it light and dark. And God said it was good. And then God created the firmament, the waters, and He separated the waters. And God said that was good. And then God created the dry land and the green growing things. And God said they were good. And then God created the great lights, the sun and the moon and the stars, and God said they were good. And then God created the birds and the fish, and God said they were good. And then God created animals and people, and God said they were good. And then on the seventh day, God rested, and God said that is good, because God could enjoy all the things of creation. So that's the first story of creation. But there's another story right after that in the Bible, and it's the second story of creation. And remember, these stories were told around a campfire out in the desert. They were passed on from generation to generation, and then eventually they were written down, and they're still passed on. So listen to the story of the second creation, the falling apart. When God created everything, God said, "It is good." And God put His own image in the creatures that walked on the earth. And in the midst of creation, there was a wonderful garden. It was God's garden. Everything was there. But everything was so close, it was all together. God was with the rocks and the plants and the animals. And they are with God and with each other. All the people were also together in one person, who was called everyone, or in their own language, Adam. And Eve was there too. She was always there, for she came from Adam. She and Adam were a kind of Adam-Eve. In the middle of the garden grew two trees. God told Adam, Eve, that they should not eat from the fruit of these trees. One tree was about differences, and one tree was about forever. If you ate the fruit of the tree of differences, you would know about differences, and if you ate from the forever tree, you would live forever. Now the serpent was the most devious of creatures. And the serpent said to Adam and Eve, "Go ahead and eat from the tree of differences." Adam and Eve ate from the tree of differences, and things fell apart for them. They became Adam and Eve. The difference between them and God also came apart, and the difference between good and evil did too. God called for them, and they hid, but God found them. They did not know how to be with God anymore because of the differences. They were high and low and far and close. Good and evil. People and God. Adam and Eve. And many more differences. But the differences also did something wonderful. Now Adam and Eve could take things apart and put them together again. They could be creators, almost like God, but they couldn't make something out of nothing. But they could make something out of differences. After the differences, Adam and Eve could not go back to when everything was together all in the garden. They could only go forward, and they did. God sent Adam and Eve out of the garden, and an angel and a sword was put at the edge of the garden, so they could not go back, but they could only go forward. But God went with them on the journey to help them be the best creators that they could be, and to be with God in this new way, and to stay one with God. I wonder what part of this creation story you like the best. I wonder which part of this story is the most important. I wonder where you are in this story. I wonder if we can leave out any of the story and still have all that we need. So this story is in the book of Genesis. And I'm going to read to you from our Bible cards, because that's what we're doing. We're learning about the Bible. Genesis is in the Torah. This is the first major division of the books of the Bible: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It is the most important part of the Bible for the Jews. Within the Torah, we have the stories of God's people from creation to just before they crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land. The Torah, of course, also contains for the people of God laws, or ways for living and for worship. The Torah contains 5 books, sometimes called the Pentateuch: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. So this is about Genesis. Genesis means the beginning. It is the first book of the Bible. It is one of the 5 books making up the Torah, or the law. In Genesis, we find the early stories of creation, the Garden of Delight, the story that we just heard, the fall, Noah and the flood, the Tower of Babel. But most of the book is devoted to the stories of God's people, led by the patriarchs and matriarchs of the Hebrew faith: Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel, and Joseph. So the story today is from Exodus. It comes right after the first creation story. The Lord took a handful of soil and made a man. God breathed life into the man, and the man started breathing. And the Lord made a garden in a place called Eden, which was in the east, and he put the man there. And the Lord placed all kinds of beautiful trees and fruit trees in the garden. There were 2 other trees in the middle of the garden. One of the trees gave life. The other gave the power to know the difference between right and wrong. I wonder if you can find this story in your Bible. I wonder if you can get your Bible and open up the front door and find Genesis. And then I wonder if you can see the first chapter is the first story of creation, and the second chapter is the second story of creation. I wonder why they're both in our Bible. I wonder why there's more than one story of creation. It's something to think about. I wonder what story I'll tell you next time. It'll be a good one. It's time to say goodbye. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.